Now then, folks, this is the next to the last day of this beautiful, beautiful month of July. Oh, thank you, July. You were full of blessings. Thank you, July weather. Thank you, July warmth. Precious. This is Saturday, and it's the year 2022, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. A joke? Okay. The teacher said, draw a picture, trying to exercise the children's imaginations. And a girl brought the picture up to the teacher's desk, and it's a blank sheet. Well, what is this a picture of? And the girl says it's a picture of a cow eating grass. But there's no grass. Well, the cow ate it all. Well, there's no cow. Well, when the cow finished the grass, she left. A Bible passage, 2 Thessalonians. May the God of peace sanctify all of us completely, through and through. A word. The word adequate. Completely fulfilling the desired end. And we have a desired end, don't we? When all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how did we treat others. The only thing that really matters when all is said and done is how did we treat others. And I get to going on it pretty well, folks, and then somebody comes along and is mean. Somebody comes along and is mean and is abusive to the elderly, 94 years old, mean, and usually wrong in their facts. And then upsets it all. And then you get to thinking about that and solving it and worrying about it. And there goes, when all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how did you treat others. But help me, will you please? And we will persist and we will get up and try it again. We've had victories in the past, and so we'll keep trying it again. We had some lovely letters that came in. One of them is a card from Leo LaBelle. I don't know which one it is. This one is. But Amy said it has a beautiful butterfly on it. And it's just a hello and a thank you. And the Leo LaBelle story is very, very interesting, folks. I think this is it. Is there a pretty butterfly on here somewhere? Thank you, Leo LaBelle. When Leo LaBelle was 12 years old, he was a guest on the Glendora's TV show for children, the SS Glendora. And he is now 68, near 70. And he still has a warm spot in his heart from all those years ago about being on that show and being on a television show that was trying to teach children kindness and goodness and honesty and morality. And he still stays in touch with Glendora, calls her on the phone. And he had a considerable good fortune in trying to track down Glendora to find out where she was. He called the television stations that she was on, and they wouldn't give her any information about Glendora, how to get in touch with her. That's wrong. That's bad. But finally he went to the internet, I guess. I guess he found it on the internet. Now, what was this letter? What's this one? Do you know? Okay, when people come in, we'll ask her to read it to you. And a lovely letter came in from the Christian Science Publishing Society, saying that they had appreciated my telephone calls to them. I appreciate your helping me, giving me the information I need to carry on, and that they wish me well. And it was a darling letter, just out of the goodness of the heart. It's a letter that comes from people who pray, a letter that comes from people who love God, a letter from people who, no matter what, the only thing that matters is to help others, treat others, how we treat others. Now we have a problem with treating others. These people, I think her name is Terry, is it?
The time is 8:00 a.m.
I think the next time she comes rapping on my door and spending a half an hour asking me to open my door so they can see me, and I told her you can see me on the YouTube. I happened to tell her the wrong time. I thought it was going to be in a half an hour, but that's my video to you is a half an hour. It doesn't get uploaded into the YouTube until the afternoon when a helper comes in and uploads it. So I'm sorry about that mistake. Okay, she comes rapping at the door with a very weak-voiced assistant who didn't say more than 10 or 11 words. And that was at my request to prove that she was there. I think the next time they do what they did yesterday, go to yesterday's video to see what they did. It would be July 29th. I think I'll just call the medical alert. And I think I'll just ask them to call the police. And what will you say to the police? I will say, these people are harassing me, they're frightening me, they're terrifying me. I would like to have them arrested, and I would like to file a petition for a permanent order of protection from them. This is the third time they've bothered me. I don't like to do this because it's Rensselaer County that is helping me with my Medicaid and doing such a great job on it. And this ugly thing called Adult Protective Services, who listens to complaints from disgruntled people who have been hurting me, again, the aged. And then I stand up for myself. And I report them, and then in vindication, they call Adult Protective Services. These people are not well balanced, and they need help themselves. They need prayer. I would love to heal them, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn to heal. I want to heal people like that. I want to heal myself. I want to help you be healed. That's all I really want to do. And so these people who are really way off the beam, cause all that trouble and waste all that money and abuse our good services, I think they have to be stopped. Will you sue those 3 people or those 2 people from so-called Adult Protective Services? One person sees it this way. They see Glendora, they know Glendora's 94 years old. They know Glendora's able. They come in and they work for me. And then they take advantage of Glendora's age. And then they try to be the boss of the enterprise. Well, they're not. They've been around 2-3 months, and Glendora's been doing the enterprise for 68 years. And it's very successful, and it's very complicated, and it's a lot of hard work, and Glendora's a strict volunteer. She doesn't get paid anything. They get paid 15 hours. So one person explained it this way, that the helper takes over and wants to be boss and starts bossing Glendora around. And that starts being abusive. And that's the case with this last person who complained to Adult Protective Services. This last person has worked here, or worked and also damaged here for 1 year and 1 month. This last person got it into her head that she wasn't paid for 3 weeks ago. And my dear friend said, I gave my friend the money. I think I gave her cash. And I think it was like $100. 5 hours, yeah, it would be like $100. And my friend took it home to give to, let's call her Sigma, the complainer, the one that's caused all the trouble here and is making the Department of Protective Services making a fool of them. Call her Sigma. Well, my dear sweet friend, call her Kappa, said yesterday that she thought she forgot to give her that paper with the money in it. And that she would go home last night, Kappa would go home last night and give the money to Sigma. And this Sigma got it into her head that Glendora wasn't going to pay her. Well, that's no such thing. I would never do such a thing. I would never do that. I want people to work and be paid and move the universe forward. I want that. So she called Consumer Direct, the payment agency, and Sigma was very abusive to that poor woman in timesheet department. And this Sigma was very abusive to Glendora. Insults, denigration, loud voice, unpleasantness, rude, And Glendora had about enough of that. And so Glendora asked her not to come in anymore. Are you firing me? Yes. Good, then I can go to unemployment. So she left, and I said, don't come in tomorrow. And she didn't. And so what did she do? She goes over to the Department of the Adult Protection, Protective Services it's called, and probably elsewhere. There may be others I'll be hearing from. In vindication. And Sigmar, in the past, has been abusive to Glendora verbally, I would say 20 times. And in the past, she's very bossy. Glendora is told, she thinks, by her conscience, by meditating, trying to listen to what is right, and what is right, trying to remind us all that when all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how we treat each other. That's Glendora's mission. And this Sigmar also has set Glendora back by erasing accidentally, but very, very expensively, 11 months of YouTube reports to you, which are out there to help us all and remind us all to be good to each other. Did she say anything about she was sorry that she did them? No. She very often comes up with prevarications that no, she didn't really do that. That wasn't her fault. That was the fault of the computer and fault that she didn't come up and say she was sorry she did them. This amounted to something like 330 TV shows that she erased. Did she ever find out how to put them back? No, she's no good really on the computer. We're not much good on it. And so we had to pay Vicky to put them back onto the YouTube, which took hours and hours and hours. Hours and hours and hours. So, Department Adult Services, Adult Protective Services, you were dealing with a person who really has mental difficulty. And everything that they haul us through and then start asking you a long bunch of personal questions, and you're best not to answer them, because everything that you tell them, they will use against you. So you're best to keep your right of being silent. You do not have to answer. You have a right to be silent. And you also have a right to have a counsel with you. So the next time they come, if they do come, shall I call the police and ask to have them arrested? And then to press for a permanent restraining order. And I hate to do this because Rensselaer County has been so good to me. These are the only people who have been nasty and abusive and frightening. And what is your charge against them? Abuse of the elderly? Misuse of their authority? not doing the job that they're being paid by the county to do, not doing it well. Coming over here at 8 o'clock in the morning and knocking on the door. 8 o'clock in the morning, knocking on the door. Asking to come into a person's house. Interrogating them. An older person. Or a whole lot of things. Violation of civil rights. And where's the lawsuit going to be filed, if it is going to be filed? It'll be filed in the Supreme Court of the United States. Why? Because it's what you call an original action. And what's an original action? Violation of civil rights. So there's a whole lot more to tell you about that. I think what we'll have to do is I have to have a person with me who can write and read. And as the things come to here, ask them to write it down on a list. And then we go on the camcorder. And then we'll ask the person to prompt. And then we can get out the full story to you. Or we can write it out. We can write it out and have the person read it to you on camera. Because I can't read. Because I can't see. How long have you been blind, Glendora? 2 years since February. February 7th. February, March, April, May, June, July. I would say 2 years and a half almost. So we called the trust NYSARC, and we found out finally we have spent the money in June. We had over $2,000 in the trust, and in June 30th it should have been down to zero, and it was way up into 2,000 someplace. Why is that dangerous? Because any money you give to the trust that you don't use and you die, the trust keeps it. Isn't that sweet? Isn't that a sweet thing? Well, my conscience tells me, and all you good friends of mine tell me, that isn't the way we want to use our money. We want to use our money toward our pet project. And it is a pet project, helping animals who are abused. There's plenty of animal agencies to give the money to. There's plenty of animals to help directly, like the way we just helped the animal who was on her way to the being homeless, and who knows what would happen. We protected the animals here in Happy House 3 for 2 months. We protected that animal. Remember Miss Kitty? How we love Miss Kitty? And we got her through her spaying. That's the only way you can do it. It's an awful thing to do, but it's the only way you can do to keep a pet cat. We want to do that and help other people do that. All right, so we got the June money is spent. Now, on to the, you see, I have to give Medicaid, or I have to give this trust $1,747 a month, rounded off to $1,800. Every month. They take that out of my bank account. And they are to use that to get Glendora what she wants. Rent, food, clothing, gasoline, desk supplies, household, laundry, And I was told that that money was mine and it was to be spent the way I want it to be spent. But they don't pay the storage unit price because I rent from a couple and they say they're not a business, so they won't pay that. They won't pay the people that I hire and pay out of my pocket. They won't pay them because they say, well, they're just people. You know, Kappa's she's just a person. That's all. But I said, I'll give you a receipt that I paid her. That's, no, they're not a business. They're not a great big business. They don't have a letterhead. They don't have a receipt book. And that's why the money piles up, because they're refusing to pay those legitimate expenses. However, we've got July. Now we're working on July last month. August starts Monday. And we've got July down to at least $1,700. I'm going to, in the meditation last night in the sanctuary, an idea came. What do you think of this? That we ask Omnicrom and Kappa, would you be interested in starting a business? And the name of that business or the purpose of that business would be helping older people. Going into their homes and helping them at a reasonable rate, you know, like $15 an hour instead of what the agency would charge would be double that. I can see when Glennie goes to heaven and Kappa doesn't have a job anymore taking care of Glennie, I can see Kappa going out and trying to find another person to take care of. And I can see Kappa starting that as a business, DBA, and getting a tax number and getting a business number. Ah, now we have a business. Now the trust will be happy. And when they get their letterhead and their tax number and all that, then they've got a legitimate business and they got the stationery. And now I can see the trust paying them. I'm going to propose that to the trust. I do not want to believe that you are thinking that we're trying to pull something off here that's shady. I do not like that. You know, as I say every day, never lie, steal, or cheat. And I don't want to do anything that's suspect. And that's why I keep talking it over with the trust. So when Kappa comes in and Omnicom come in, ask him, don't you think that's a good idea? And they know, and we know they're going to get to business because we've had such a hard time finding people, and so has Consumer Direct, the hiring agent. You can't find people. Okay, what do you think of that? There's a whole lot more to tell you about. And if they say I gotta get this organized, and it takes so much time, and it takes so much energy, and it takes so much money paying people to do it. Did we do the hymn? O Master, let us walk with thee in dearer, closer company, in work that keeps faith sweet and strong, in trust that triumphs over wrong. Why weren't you in school yesterday? My mother took me to the cemetery. Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody dead? Yeah, they all were. Vocabulary, did we do that? Yes, remember the word adequate. Completely fulfilling a desired end. And you know what our desired end for all of us to be good. For all of us. When all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how we treat each other. Do you pray for these people? A lot. What do you mean by pray? Well, actually, my words are to them. Please, go by yourself. Think. Think hard of what you really want in life and where it is. And practice getting it. And think purely. No negative, second level, trivial, ugly thought. Brian Webster said a very good thing on Sentinel Watch, Christian Science. He said those thoughts that come up to you that you can't do something, that you're in a lot of pain, that you're sick, that you're disabled, that you're no good. Face it, those are not your thoughts. Those thoughts come from somewhere else, but they are not your thoughts. Why? Because you are a child of God. Because you are God's child. And God is protecting you. And God doesn't have thoughts like that. They don't come from anybody of authority like God. They come from somebody who has no power over you at all. They have no power over you at all, these dumb thoughts. They're not yours. You just be done with them. Okay. So that's the Bible passage, and that's the hymn. And that's the word to improve our vocabulary. Just try one more joke. See if we can leave ourselves in a good mood here. Everyone that thinks about it is funny because it was a strange event to a person. But the policeman to the little boy. Are you related to the people, the family next door? Policeman to the little boy. Are you related to the family next door? Yes. Their dog is our dog's brother. Breathe on us, breath of God, until we are wholly thine, until this earthly part of us glow with thy spirit divine.